we just took down the #2 Marvel Snap player in the world. That's right, we got to play in a tournament with some of the top players of the game, including Mr. Metal, Valentine, and Coco. If you've been watching Marvel Snap on YouTube or Twitch, then you know it's all about winning games and getting those cubes to increase your rank. What you may not know is, well, there's live tournaments going on. That's right, the community has been creating its own tournaments in Marvel Snap, and we got to take one down. This specific tournament is called Cube Rush, and it's organized and promoted by the Marvel Snap Zone. In this tournament, streamers have 1 hour to net as many cubes as possible. That sounds easy, right? Here's where it gets fun. Each week, there is a particular stipulation around the deck, and you must build your deck around that. And this week, we had variants. Now, if you're not familiar with variants, it means you have to have alternate art on all your cards in the deck. Because I play as free to play as possible, I don't have a lot of variants. So all the decks I had, well, half the deck didn't have a variant associated with it, so I had to throw those out the window. Now, I did have some pretty super sick Venomized variants, but outside of that, it was kind of hit or miss based on what I got in chests. So I gathered up all that big brain power and, well, we put a deck together. But before we get into the deck, did I mention about Bar Sinister? This was the feature location going on while the tournament was going down, and I had to make sure that the deck would also perform on that location. So looking through all my synergy, I decided to destroy the competition. We decided to put together a destroy deck with a few spicy cards to counteract this particular meta. So this is what I came up with. So let's do a really quick deck tech of the deck we used, and it is a simple destroy deck. Now, because we had Bar Sinister, we did make this deck slightly different, so there's no destroyer. That would just hurt us too much, and instead, we kind of took this deck a little bit lower. Now, we still have the main package of Nova, Bucky, Carnage, and Deathlock, but we kind of built it slightly different around there. So with this deck, there was some pretty cool stuff you could do with Bar Sinister, like putting Nova on there to get 4 different Novas, and then using Killmonger to blow those up and get pluses all over the board. This was another reason why we used Deadpool, because there's a pretty cool play where you can put Nova on Bar Sinister, put Deadpool out, use Killmonger to blow up the Novas, and then all of a sudden your Deadpool, well, he's a 5/5 and he's getting destroyed by Killmonger to come down as a 10/10 next turn. Another card we used to interact with Bar Sinister was Green Goblin. You could throw him down, it would make copies on their side and then lock out the location for you. Beyond that, we went into Enchantress. Now, if you guys knew about Bar Sinister, you probably saw the Onslaught Blue Marvel combo, and as long as they flip first, or you play this on turn 5, Enchantress can go ahead and shut down that Blue Marvel. Now, if they were going to play this space fair, well, we had Spider-Woman. You throw her down, she puts a bunch of negatives down, and, well, she thick. Next up was Iron Man, and, well, I like Iron Man. He's pretty good, and when you have somebody like Death who can come down pretty easily after all the destroys that you're seeing, yeah, he can just double the point value on one of the locations and let you win that pretty easily. And lastly, we have Chavez. Yeah, she's not very good in the deck or anything like that, but because she's a card I'm not going to draw throughout the entire game, it helps me make sure that I can get Nova and Deadpool early so that I can get those combos rolling and not have to worry about drawing some other big card that may or may not be played. So with the deck tech breakdown, let's jump over to the games and see how the tournament went. So going into match 1, well, we started out strong with a crash. So there was -1 cubes right from the start going into game 2, but this is where we got to pull off the combo. Yep, we were able to play those 4 Novas down, play our Deadpool into Killmonger, and make a very, very large Deadpool. Now this next turn, I did make a small misplay. I should have put Deadpool on Bar Sinister with our Deathlock. That way we would have gotten even more Deadpools, but it's okay. It worked out in the end, and we were able to take it down in this final turn with our Deadpool and our Spider-Woman coming down to really take down their right side. Our third match was, well, very similar. Yeah, the board looks very similar. From there, we had 2 opponents that decided they didn't want to play. Yeah, they're free cubes, so we'll definitely take them. After those free wins, we got that elusive tie, but at least we didn't lose cubes. So checking in on the leaderboards, we are up a significant amount of cubes with 40 minutes left. So going into the next game, yeah, we get hit with that District X and nobody likes that location. So fighting through this without actually using our deck, we were able to land a giant Giganto. While our opponent played a Doc Ock, which Yeah, worked out into our favor, and we just barely pulled this one out for an extra 2 cubes. So after getting those cubes, well, the next person decided they had enough, and we got some more free cubes. So at this point, we're up 6 wins, 1 tie, and this game isn't feeling so hot. We didn't get all our combos, we didn't get all the cards, and we're going into the final turn just hoping, crossing the fingers, that we're going to be able to steal this out. And here comes Gambit. Gambit destroying the card causes us to lose this match and get our first loss of the tournament. Now the loss was only -2 cubes, so we couldn't let it keep us down. Our next opponent, well, they decided to give us those 2 cubes without finishing it out. So after getting those 2 free cubes, we were able to take down 3 matches pretty easily, back to back to back, and those wins took us up to 34 cubes. So coming off those wins gets us in a very good spot, but we are only ahead by 6 cubes going into the very last match. Now, before we get into that match, I just want to say thank you guys for, watching this video and getting this far. So make sure, if you have, leave a comment below, hit the like button, hit all the buttons down there. Let me know if you like the Snap content and if you want to see more. And lastly, if you want to see all of these matches unedited, I will link to a video right up here that has all of those. So make sure to check out that video. Yeah, and leave a comment over there telling me all the mistakes I made. That's okay. It's only going to make me a better player, so make sure you put all those mistakes in there. So with that said, guys, I'm going to throw it back over to the matches, and we're going to watch the last match unedited with commentary from Kawa and Binks.
All right, looks like Default Dan's up 5 cubes, probably 6 cubes, because I don't think Valentine took his 1 cube off yet. So it's looking like we're going to be at a 6 cube game between Default Dan and Valentine. Default Dan might have a chance to get another game in, but it's looking very, very rare. We have 42 seconds left on the clock.
I'm going to go ahead and start bringing people in.
Bring them in, yeah. You want to bring just maybe we bring just Dan and Valentine in?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep. We can see how they're thinking right now.
Ping everyone else.
So Dan's game right now seems to be going okay. I won't lie. Getting this Deadpool destroyed here is always good. Buffing it up. Val does have a Nexus game. Those games can be absolutely crazy. So he is still in the running.
Yeah, Nexus can always do some big things. He has some giant cards in this deck. Arrow to do some manipulation against our opponent. Opponent's like Daredevil on the Nexus. A little bit of a risky play in my opinion. And yeah, we're looking like, so Val and Dan, if you hear me, we're looking like we're just hit the end. So if we get any retreats and plays right now, but it looks like these are going to be our last 2 games. Dan up, it looks like 6 cubes. I'm not sure if Val took his -1 from the last game here. So big play here. And the snap, the snap, the confidence is unreal.
Yeah, I think in this situation, Dan, this isn't even last turn yet. This is turn 5. So he hits the Enchantress, and then yeah. I mean, Enchantress here always seems. No, I think the Enchantress is the better play in my opinion, because if this is any sort of destruction deck, even with the power of the cards, it's pretty good.
What I'm scared about, and what he should probably be scared about, is that this screams Destroyer, right? And the blue Marvel is also a little bit spooky. But I think the Enchantress turning off that Iron Man, even with the Destroyer. Plus, if this is a Destroyer deck, the Enchantress might have actually been, if he could have been ahead on turn 5, could have been a really cheeky way to have that Destroyer burn everything.
Burn everything, yeah, 100%.
So if we don't get a retreat here and Default Dan wins, Default Dan is going to be the winner of our Halloween Cube Rush. Let's pop back to the quad box. I want to see where Valentine's at, because it's very important to see where he's at in his game as well. He's already snapped. Very smart play.
Playing a vision down.
Hopefully gonna get the opponent to snap as well. Hobgoblin coming down on the Nexus. Very scary. He's got to know that he has nothing else that he can do though. Does he have an Odin in this deck?
He does not. Dan is after taking the 4 cubes there. So he's on 38 cubes. I do believe that means that Dan is going to be our Cube Rush Halloween special winner no matter what. But we will watch Val's last game out.
Yeah, let's pop open Val's game here, and we can bring everyone else in if you want to bring all the contestants in now, Loot.
congrats everyone. This was an absolute blast to see everybody's games. We can confirm that Dan has won the Halloween Cube Rush special